The alien ship appeared in Earth's orbit without warning. It was massive, gleaming like polished silver under the sun. News of its arrival spread across the planet in minutes. Governments scrambled to respond. Military forces went on high alert. And Commander Olivia Bennett of the Earth Defense Fleet received urgent orders to lead humanity's first diplomatic mission to meet the visitors. "This is not a drill," said Admiral Gregory Martinez over the secure channel. His normally calm face showed strain. "Commander Bennett, you will take the diplomatic team to the neutral meeting point on the International Space Station. These aliens call themselves the Galactic Hegemony. They claim to represent hundreds of spacefaring species." Olivia nodded, her heart racing despite years of training. "Understood, sir. When do we leave?" "1 hour. The diplomats are already boarding your ship." The shuttle journey to the space station was tense. Dr. Natalie Ward, the team's xenobiologist, reviewed alien biology reports sent ahead by the hegemony. She looked up from her tablet with wide eyes. "Their civilization is over 10,000 years old," she whispered. "They've been exploring space since humans were figuring out agriculture." Olivia checked her uniform one last time as they docked with the station. "Remember, everyone, we represent all of humanity today." The meeting chamber had been prepared according to the aliens' instructions. 3 hegemony diplomats waited inside. They stood nearly 7 feet tall with smooth, bluish skin and forearms. Their eyes were large and completely black. The lead diplomat stepped forward. "I am High Envoy Zal Korath of the Galactic Hegemony. We welcome Earth to the galactic community." Earth Secretary General smiled and began his prepared speech. "On behalf of humanity, we are honored." A brilliant flash of light cut him off. Where the 3 alien diplomats had stood, there was now only smoke and scattered blue liquid. The Secretary General collapsed, a dart protruding from his neck. "Weapons!" Olivia shouted, drawing her sidearm. Her security team formed a protective circle around the remaining humans. The station's emergency alarms blared. Over the speakers, an inhuman voice boomed. "Human treachery detected. Diplomatic team eliminated. Retribution protocols engaged." "This wasn't us," Olivia shouted into her communication device. "I repeat, we did not attack the aliens. Someone else is here." Lieutenant Jason Reeves burst through the door, his uniform torn and bloody. "Commander, the station is under attack. Small craft of unknown design. They're not ours." Before Olivia could respond, her communication device lit up with Admiral Martinez's grim face. "Bennett, get your team out now. The alien fleet is powering weapons. 3 of our Mars outposts have already been destroyed. They're not listening to our explanations." Olivia helped the injured Secretary General to his feet. "Move! Everyone to the shuttle." The journey back to Earth was a nightmare. Through the shuttle windows, they watched as massive alien warships emerged from what appeared to be tiers in space itself. The hegemony had arrived in force. Back at Earth Defense Headquarters, the situation room was chaos. Admiral Martinez pointed to the main screen showing the approaching alien armada. "They've cut all communication. Our attempts to explain what happened have been ignored," he said. "Their fleet is larger than anything we could have imagined." Dr. Ward pushed her way forward. "Admiral, I've analyzed the recording from the station. Look at the assassination method." She pointed to a paused image. "That's not human technology. And the timing is too perfect. This was planned." Martinez nodded slowly. "A setup to justify invasion." Olivia studied the tactical display. "But why? If they're so advanced, why bother with a pretense? They could take Earth by force." "Politics," Dr. Ward suggested. "Our data packet from them mentioned the hegemony has factions. Maybe not everyone wanted this war." The room shook as the first distant impacts were felt. The hegemony had begun bombing remote military bases. Lieutenant Reeves entered, looking exhausted but excited. "Sir, my experimental ship Phantom just returned from recon. You need to see this." He handed over a data chip. "We got close enough to one of their command ships to intercept communications. The assassins weren't human. They're called the Vrex, some client species of the hegemony. They planned this." Martinez loaded the data. The room watched as reptilian creatures discussed their successful operation. "The humans will be blamed," one said. "The war faction will finally have their excuse to claim Earth's resources." "This changes nothing right now," Martinez said grimly. "They still want us dead. We need to prepare." Over the next days, Earth's governments united as never before. Old enemies became allies against the alien threat. Every factory converted to war production. Retired soldiers returned to service. Children were evacuated from major cities. "Lieutenant." Reeves took Olivia aside during a rare quiet moment. "Commander, the Phantom has stealth technology that works against their sensors. We could use it to gather intelligence, maybe find weaknesses." "Do it," she authorized. "Take whatever crew and equipment you need." Dr. Ward's team worked around, the clock studying the alien technology from fragments of destroyed ships. "Their tech is incredible," she reported, "but there's something odd about it. For being thousands of years advanced, it feels stagnant, like they haven't truly innovated in centuries." A month into the war, humanity had suffered terrible losses. The moon base was gone, Mars colonies destroyed, but Earth still stood, protected by desperate courage and rapidly improving defenses adapted from recovered alien technology. Admiral Martinez addressed the combined military leadership. "We cannot win a conventional war. The hegemony outnumbers us 1,000 to 1. Their technology is centuries beyond ours." He paused. "But humans have something they don't expect. We're adaptable, we're unpredictable, and we refuse to surrender." Olivia studied the latest battle plans. "We need to change how we fight. Stop trying to match their strength and start using our own advantages." "Guerrilla warfare," said Colonel Diane Garcia. "Hit and run, ambushes, unconventional tactics." "Exactly," Olivia nodded. "And we need to find allies. Dr. Ward, you mentioned hegemony factions. Can we contact the peace faction?" Dr. Ward looked thoughtful. "Maybe. I've been analyzing their communication patterns. There might be a way." As the meeting ended, Lieutenant Reeves rushed in. "Admiral, Phantom just returned from deep recon. We found something incredible." He spread star charts on the table. "The hegemony supply lines, they're stretched thin and barely defended near the Jupiter sector." For the first time since the war began, Admiral Martinez smiled. "Then that's where we strike first. Prepare a raid. Volunteer crew only." Outside the window, the night sky lit, up with the flashes of orbital combat. The first human war had begun, and despite everything, humanity was not going down without a fight that would shake the galactic hegemony to its core. 6 months passed since the first attack. Earth was barely holding on. The hegemony's massive ships controlled most of the solar system. Human colonies on Mars and the Moon had fallen. The alien forces pushed closer to Earth every day. Captain Elizabeth Donovan stood on the bridge of her ship, the Defiant. It was small compared to the enemy vessels, but fast and heavily modified with both human and stolen alien technology. Her crew of 30 was the best Earth had left. "Captain, we're approaching the target," said her navigator. "Hegemony supply depot at the edge of the asteroid belt." Elizabeth nodded. "Activate stealth systems. Remember the plan. We go in quiet, take what we need, and disappear." The Defiant slipped between massive alien cargo ships. The hegemony had grown confident. They didn't expect attacks this deep in their territory. Their patrol ships moved in predictable patterns. Elizabeth had studied those patterns for weeks. "Ready the boarding teams," she ordered. "Remember, we need those power cores and any weapons we can carry." The raid began smoothly. Human soldiers in spacesuits attached to a large supply ship. They cut through the hull and entered. Inside, they found only a handful of alien crew. The hegemony relied heavily on automated systems. "They're so dependent on their technology," Elizabeth said over the comm. "They never expect someone to simply cut through a wall instead of hacking the door." The humans worked quickly, taking everything useful. But as they prepared to leave, alarms blared. A hegemony battlecruiser emerged from nowhere. "Captain, they've spotted us," shouted her tactical officer. Elizabeth smiled. "Right on time. Execute Phase 2. The Defiant suddenly powered up all systems and raced away from the supply ship, in the opposite direction from where the boarding team was working. The hegemony cruiser gave chase exactly as planned. They always follow the same tactics, Elizabeth said. Their battle computers choose the optimal response every time, and that makes them predictable. The Defiant led the cruiser into a dense part of the asteroid belt. The human ship zigzagged between rocks in ways no computer would recommend. The alien vessel tried to follow the same path but was 3 times larger. It clipped an asteroid and spun out of control. Meanwhile, the boarding team finished their work. They not only took supplies, but also captured 3 hegemony officers and downloaded valuable data. When the Defiant circled back to pick them up, they left behind explosives that destroyed the supply depot. Back on Earth, the raid was celebrated. As a rare victory, Admiral Martinez personally greeted Elizabeth when she landed. "Excellent work, Captain," he said. "What you brought back will make a difference." Professor Samuel Wright waited impatiently in the lab. He was a brilliant scientist who had been studying alien technology since the war began. When Elizabeth's team delivered the captured equipment and data, he immediately went to work. 3 days later, he called an emergency meeting with Admiral Martinez, Commander Bennett, and the other leaders. "I've found something incredible," Professor Wright said, his eyes bright with excitement. "The hegemony's technology is advanced, yes, but it's all built on the same basic systems. They haven't truly innovated in centuries. They just make small improvements to the same designs." He showed them the alien computer systems. "Look here. Their programming language hasn't fundamentally changed in over 500 years. It's elegant and powerful but rigid. They value stability over creativity." Commander Bennett leaned forward. "How does this help us?" "Because we can understand it," Wright explained. "And if we understand it, we can hack it. We can create viruses that affect all their systems, not just some." While the scientists worked, Major Frank Campbell interviewed the captured aliens. At first they refused to speak, but one officer, the youngest, eventually began talking. "You humans fight strangely," the alien said. His name was Trellvorn. "You take unnecessary risks. You ignore optimal strategies. It confuses our battle, computers." Major Campbell leaned closer. "That's because we don't let computers make all our decisions." Trellvorn blinked his large black eyes. "The hegemony hasn't fought a real war in 1,000 years. We've conquered primitive species, yes, but nothing like this. Most of our soldiers have never seen actual combat." This information spread quickly through Earth's leadership. The humans began to understand their one advantage. The hegemony had forgotten how to fight. They relied on machines to do their thinking. Meanwhile, Dr. Ward made a breakthrough. Using captured communication devices, she established contact with a hegemony scientist named Zor Kaleth who opposed the war. "Many of us tried to prevent this conflict," Zor Kaleth told her during their secret conversation. "The assassination of our diplomats was suspicious from the start, but the war faction used it to push their agenda." "Can you help us?" Dr. Ward asked. "I can provide information," the alien replied. "There is a major offensive being planned. The hegemony will attack your lunar shipyards in 15 days. They want to destroy your ability to build new ships." With this warning, Earth had time to prepare. Admiral Martinez gathered every ship they had left. Commander Bennett worked with Professor Wright to develop new defensive strategies. Lieutenant Reeves and his stealth ships prepared ambush positions around the moon. Captain Donovan received a special mission. Her Defiant and 5 other fast ships would hide among debris near the lunar surface. When the battle began, they would strike at the hegemony command ships from behind. "This will be the largest battle so far," Admiral Martinez told his commanders. "If we lose the shipyards, we lose the war. Earth will be next." The night before the battle, Commander Bennett found Lieutenant Reeves working late on his ship. "Nervous?" she asked. He nodded. "We're facing ships that could destroy us with a single shot. But they have to hit us first," she replied, "and we're not fighting the way they expect." Across the solar system, the massive hegemony fleet began moving toward Earth's moon. Hundreds of warships, each carrying enough firepower to level a city. They moved in perfect formation, following battle plans created by their advanced computers. They didn't know that humans had placed special devices throughout the battle area, devices that would interfere with their sensors and communications. They didn't know that Professor Wright had created a virus that could temporarily disable their weapons. Most importantly, they didn't know that humans had learned their biggest weakness. The hegemony couldn't adapt quickly to the unexpected. And humanity was about to do something very, very unexpected. The day of the great battle arrived. Earth's remaining fleet gathered near the lunar shipyards. 47 ships against hundreds of hegemony vessels. The odds seemed impossible. Admiral Martinez stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Determination. He watched as the enemy fleet appeared on long-range sensors. They came in perfect formation, like a wall of metal stretching across space. "All ships report ready, sir," said his communications officer. Martinez nodded. "Send the signal. Operation Chaos begins now." Throughout the Earth fleet, captains received their orders. Unlike previous battles, each ship had different instructions. Some would attack head-on, others would hide and strike later. The plan relied on confusion and unpredictability, qualities the hegemony couldn't understand. On the captured alien ship renamed Opportunity, Lieutenant Jason Reeves led a small team of computer experts. They had one critical mission: get close enough to the hegemony command ship to upload Professor Wright's virus. "Everyone ready?" Jason asked his team. They all nodded, faces serious but determined. The Opportunity looked exactly like a hegemony support vessel from the outside. They had spent weeks studying alien communication protocols. If they were discovered, they would be destroyed instantly. As the massive enemy fleet approached, Admiral Martinez gave his final order: commence attack pattern Delta. A third of the Earth fleet surged forward, weapons blazing. The hegemony responded exactly as expected. Their ships spread out to surround the attackers. Their formation was perfect, their tactics textbook. "Now for the unexpected," Martinez said quietly. Hidden among lunar debris, Captain Elizabeth Donovan and her strike team powered up their engines. They had been floating dark, appearing as nothing but space junk on enemy sensors. Now, 6 ships shot forward, attacking the hegemony fleet from behind. The aliens responded by splitting their forces. This created a gap in their formation, a gap that Lieutenant Reeves and the Opportunity slipped through. They moved closer to the massive hegemony command ship at the center of the fleet. On Earth, Professor Wright and Dr. Ward monitored the battle from the main command center. "They're following their standard response protocols," Wright noted, "just as we predicted." The battle grew intense. Earth ships took heavy damage. 3 were destroyed in the first wave. But they fought with a creativity the aliens couldn't match. Human captains made split-second decisions, changing tactics mid-fight. The hegemony ships, guided by their battle computers, couldn't adapt quickly enough. On the Opportunity, Jason's team reached their optimal position. "We're in range," his engineer reported. "Beginning upload now." The virus transmission would take 3 minutes. They needed to remain undetected for 3 minutes. "Enemy patrol approaching," warned the tactical officer. "They're scanning us." Jason made a quick decision. "Release the decoys and change course." Small devices shot from the Opportunity, each broadcasting signals that mimicked a hegemony ship. The patrol diverted to investigate these new contacts. Meanwhile, the virus continued uploading. "Transmission complete," the engineer finally reported. "Now we wait," Jason said. For 30 seconds, nothing happened. The battle raged on. More Earth ships fell. The hegemony pressed forward toward the lunar shipyards. Then it began. Throughout the alien fleet, ships suddenly lost weapon control. Navigation systems failed. Communication channels filled with static. The perfect formation dissolved. "Into chaos, it's working!" Professor Wright shouted on Earth. "The virus is affecting their command systems." Admiral Martinez saw his opportunity. "All ships, full attack. Target their command vessel." The Earth fleet converged on the confused enemy. Human weapons found weak spots in alien hulls. The hegemony, tried to reorganize, but without their central control systems, each ship acted independently. Some even fired on their own allies in the confusion. Captain Donovan's strike team hit the enemy hard from behind. Her ship, the Defiant, targeted engine sections and weapon systems with surgical precision. They don't know how to fight when their computers fail, she told her crew. Keep pressing the advantage. The massive Hegemony command ship began to withdraw. Other alien vessels followed, many damaged and disorganized. For the first time, the Hegemony was retreating. Admiral Martinez couldn't believe what he was seeing. Are they actually running? His tactical officer nodded in amazement. Yes, sir. They're breaking off the attack. The battle for the lunar shipyards was over. Earth had won its first major victory. On the planet below, people celebrated. News of the victory spread quickly. After months of defeats, humanity finally had hope. In his command center on the Hegemony flagship, Supreme Commander Zul Thran faced an angry hologram of the Council of Elders. You promised a swift victory, said the Chief Elder. Instead, these humans have humiliated our forces. Zul Thran struggled to explain. They fight incorrectly. They ignore optimal strategies. Their actions make no logical sense. Yet they defeated your fleet, the Elder replied coldly. We will adapt our approach, Zul Thran promised. The humans have merely delayed the inevitable. But among his officers, worry spread. Reports described human soldiers who fought with shocking ferocity, who used tactics no simulation had predicted. Some younger officers began whispering, if you encounter humans, retreat. Don't try to fight them directly. Back on Earth, the victory brought renewed energy to the war effort. Colonel Diane Garcia organized resistance cells to fight Hegemony, forces that had landed on the planet. Using Earth's varied terrain, dense forests, mountains, deserts, her fighters ambushed technologically superior but tactically inflexible alien units. In the science labs, Professor Wright and Dr. Ward worked with the information gained from the battle. We've proven they can be beaten, Wright told the military council. Their technology is advanced, but their thinking is rigid. Dr. Ward shared her latest communication with the alien scientist Zor Kaleth. The Hegemony is in shock. No one has challenged them like this in centuries. Some factions are already questioning the war. Admiral Martinez looked at the star map, showing the positions of Earth and Hegemony forces. Then it's time we take this fight to them. Lieutenant Reeves, how soon can your stealth ships be ready for a deep reconnaissance mission? 3 days, sir, Jason replied. Good. I want information. On their supply lines, their staging areas, everything. It's time to show the Hegemony what happens when they pick a fight with humans. The war was far from over. Earth had won one battle, but the enemy still held overwhelming advantages. Yet for the first time, humanity had shown that the seemingly invincible galactic hegemony could be defeated. And in the coming months, they would learn just how adaptable, unpredictable, and dangerous humans could be. A year passed since the war began. The situation had changed dramatically. Humanity was no longer fighting for survival. They were taking the fight to the enemy. Admiral Martinez stood before the newly formed Human Defense Council. Behind him, a large screen showed their bold new plan. The Vengeance fleet is ready, he announced. 23 ships, built with combined human and hegemony technology. This will be our first major offensive beyond our solar system. Commander Bennett studied the tactical display. Alpha Centauri is their main staging area. They won't expect us to attack there. Exactly, Martinez agreed. They still think we're too weak to leave our own system. The new human ships looked nothing like their previous vessels. They combined the best of Earth engineering with reverse-engineered alien tech. Most importantly, they contained innovations the hegemony had never seen. Weapons and defenses created by human minds thinking in ways the aliens couldn't predict. Lieutenant Jason Reeves, now a captain, had been given command of the advanced hybrid warship, Defiance. It was the fastest vessel ever built by human hands, with stealth systems that could hide it even from hegemony sensors. Your mission is critical, Admiral Martinez told him. While we attack their main fleet at Alpha Centauri, you will lead. A special squadron on lightning raids against their shipyards. Hit and run, destroy what you can and disappear before they respond. Jason nodded. We won't let you down, sir. On the political front, Dr. Ward continued her secret communications with Zor Kaleth. The alien scientist had become a valuable ally, providing crucial information about hegemony movements and politics. The evidence we gathered about the Vrex, planning the assassination has been spreading, Dr. Ward reported to the council. Several client species are questioning the war. The hegemony is facing internal pressure. Professor Wright added, and our technological advances are accelerating. Each captured alien ship gives us new insights. We're not just copying their technology, we're improving it. The day of the offensive arrived. The Vengeance fleet prepared to jump to the Alpha Centauri system using drive technology adapted from hegemony ships. Admiral Martinez addressed the fleet from his flagship. Today we take the fight to them, he said. Today we show the hegemony that humans are not just defending, we are coming for them. The jump was perfect. The human fleet appeared on the edge of the Alpha Centauri system, catching the hegemony completely by surprise. Their staging area contained supply ships, troop transports, and a modest defense force. They never expected to be attacked here. All ships, engage as planned, ordered Admiral Martinez. The human fleet split into 3 attack groups, each targeting different sections of the alien base. The battle was fierce but one-sided. The surprise was total. Human ships, using unconventional tactics and unexpected weapons, tore through the hegemony defenses. Within hours, the staging area was in ruins. Meanwhile, Captain Jason Reeves led his squadron of 6 fast attack ships deep into hegemony territory. They hit a major shipyard in the Proxima system, destroying nearly 30 vessels under construction. Before the aliens could respond, the human ships vanished back into the darkness of space. Their response time is improving, Jason noted during the debriefing. They're trying to adapt to our tactics, but they're still too predictable. Reports from across hegemony space confirmed his observation. The aliens were changing their military doctrine. New orders instructed their commanders. If humans are detected, withdraw and request reinforcements. Do not engage individually. Captain Elizabeth Donovan received a special assignment from Admiral Martinez. Her mission was perhaps the most dangerous yet. Infiltrate the Vrex homeworld and find concrete evidence of their plot against Earth. We need proof that will convince the entire hegemony, Martinez told her, something that can't be denied. Elizabeth's team spent weeks preparing. They studied Vrex language and customs. They modified their ship to pass as a hegemony supply vessel. They created perfect disguises using captured alien technology. The infiltration went smoothly at first. They landed on the Vrex homeworld claiming to be maintenance workers. Using forged credentials, they accessed government buildings and planted listening devices. What they discovered was shocking. The Vrex hadn't just planned the assassination. They had been hoarding advanced weapons technology forbidden by hegemony law. They were preparing for a power grab within the Empire. We need to broadcast this evidence across all hegemony communication channels, Elizabeth told her team. But that means accessing their main transmission hub. The mission nearly failed when a security patrol spotted them near the hub. A firefight erupted. 2 of Elizabeth's team were wounded, but they reached the transmission center and uploaded their evidence before escaping. Across thousands of worlds, the truth spread. The Vrex had manipulated the hegemony into a war with humans. They had violated imperial law. Riots broke out on multiple planets as client species realized they had been fighting a war based on lies. On Earth, the Human Defense Council received reports of the growing chaos in the Empire. Dr. Ward's alien contact Zor Kaleth confirmed the impact. The peace factions are gaining power, he reported. Many worlds are questioning the leadership of the Council of Elders. Some are even refusing to send ships or troops to continue the war. Admiral Martinez saw the opportunity. Then we press our advantage. We expand our offensive operations. We show them that continuing this war will cost them everything. The human fleets grew bolder. They struck deeper into hegemony territory. Captain Reeves and his squadron became the most feared human force, appearing without warning, destroying vital infrastructure, and vanishing before the aliens could respond. Hegemony military records began to include a specific warning to their officers. Human vessels under the command of Captain Reeves are to be avoided at all costs. His tactics cannot be predicted by standard battle computers. Professor Wright continued to develop new weapons and defenses, each one designed to exploit the rigid thinking of the hegemony. They expect us to fight like them, he explained to new engineers. Our advantage is that we don't. Colonel Garcia's ground forces practiced for potential landings on alien worlds. They trained in every environment, preparing for the day when humans might set foot on hegemony planets. In his private quarters, Admiral Martinez studied reports from across the front lines. Human forces were still outnumbered, and technically, outmatched. The hegemony still controlled vastly more territory and resources. But the momentum had shifted. They started this war thinking we were just another primitive species to conquer, he told Commander Bennett. They're learning that humans are unlike anything they've faced before. Bennett nodded. But the final battle is still ahead of us. They'll gather their forces for one massive counterattack. When they do, Martinez finished, we'll be ready with something they've never seen before. The war entered its final phase. The once mighty galactic hegemony was fracturing from within. Client species rebelled, internal factions fought for power, and humanity pushed deeper into their territory. In Earth's main command center, Admiral Martinez and Professor Wright presented their most ambitious plan yet to the Defense Council. We call it the Chaos Protocol, Martinez explained. The large screen behind him showed complex battle simulations. It combines human unpredictability with AI-enhanced decision-making, Professor Wright continued. We've studied how the hegemony thinks. Their entire civilization values order and predictability. Their battle computers can't handle true randomness. So we're going to give them chaos. The plan was approved. Every human ship received new combat systems that would generate unpredictable attack patterns. No two ships would fight the same way. The hegemony's prediction algorithms would be useless. On the diplomatic front, Dr. Ward reported exciting news. The peace factions on the hegemony capital world of Etherion Prime are gaining strength. They're planning to overthrow the Council of Elders. Can we support them? Asked Commander Bennett. My contact, Zor Kaleth, says yes, Dr. Ward replied. He believes the time is right for a diplomatic mission, to meet with the new government if they succeed. Martinez nodded slowly. A risky mission. But if it works, we could end this war. Commander Bennett volunteered immediately. I'll lead the diplomatic team. After all, I was there when this war started. The plan had two parts. Bennett would lead a diplomatic mission to Etherion Prime, ready to negotiate if the peace factions took power. Meanwhile, Colonel Garcia's special forces would stand by to extract them if things went wrong. As these plans developed, disturbing reports arrived from the edge of human territory. The Vreks, now facing punishment from the hegemony for their deception, had grown desperate. Intelligence suggested they had accessed forbidden planet-killer weapons. They're planning one final attack on Earth, warned Captain Reeves after his latest reconnaissance mission. They know they've lost, but they want to take us down with them. Admiral Martinez made a bold decision. He contacted the hegemony directly, not the Council of Elders, but the military commanders who were now questioning the war. We share a common enemy, he told them. The Vreks threaten both our civilizations with weapons that could destroy entire worlds. We propose a temporary alliance to stop them. To everyone's surprise, the hegemony commanders agreed. For the first time, human and hegemony ships would fight side by side. Captain Elizabeth Donovan was chosen to lead the combined defense force. Her experience fighting the Vreks made her the perfect choice. Captain Reeves would serve as her second-in-command. Never thought I'd be working with the aliens we've been fighting, Elizabeth told Jason as they prepared their ships. They're starting to respect us, he replied. Maybe even fear us a little. The Vreks attack came suddenly. A dozen ships using stolen hegemony technology appeared near Jupiter. At their center was a massive vessel carrying the planet-killer weapon. The combined human hegemony fleet met them there. Elizabeth coordinated with the alien commanders who followed her tactical lead, something unimaginable just months earlier. The battle was brutal. The Vrex fought with the desperation of those who had nothing to lose. 3 human ships were destroyed. 2 hegemony vessels fell. But the defenders pushed forward. "Target their command ship," Elizabeth ordered. "All vessels, focus fire." Human and hegemony weapons struck the Vrex flagship simultaneously. Its shields failed, its hull cracked. The planet killer weapon never fired. As the last Vrex ships retreated or surrendered, cheers erupted across the human hegemony fleet. It was more than a victory. It was the beginning of something new. Meanwhile, on Etherian Prime, the political situation reached its climax. The peace factions, led by scientists and younger leaders, staged their coup. The Council of Elders was removed from power. A new government took control, one that wanted to end the war. Commander Bennett's diplomatic shuttle arrived at the perfect moment. She was welcomed not as an enemy, but as a potential ally. "The mistakes of the past cannot be undone," said the new hegemony prime minister during their first meeting. "But we can build a different future." The peace negotiations moved quickly. Both sides had learned respect for each other. The hegemony recognized that humans, despite their comparative youth as a spacefaring species, were equals. Humans understood that not all aliens had supported the war. Admiral Martinez traveled to Etherian Prime for the signing of the peace treaty. The document transformed the old hegemony into a new galactic coalition, with Earth as a founding member. "Today marks the end of the first human war," Martinez said at the ceremony. "Let us hope it is the last." Dr. Ward was appointed as Earth's first ambassador to the Coalition Council. Professor Wright began a scientific exchange program, sharing human innovations with alien researchers. Colonel Garcia trained the first mixed human-alien security forces. Captain Reeves took command of a new exploration vessel, staffed by both humans and former hegemony species. Their mission was to map the unknown regions beyond Coalition space. Captain Donovan returned to Earth as a hero. She would lead the training of new captains, teaching them the lessons learned during the war. On Etherian Prime, at the newly established Galactic Military Academy, a senior instructor addressed his class of young officers from various species. "The most important lesson from the human war is this," he said seriously. "Humans think differently. They use unpredictable tactics. They take risks no logical species would consider. When facing humans in combat, your primary directive is simple: run." A young cadet raised her hand. "But sir, humans are part of the coalition now. We won't fight them." The instructor smiled. "Indeed, and that is perhaps the wisest decision our civilization has ever made." Back on Earth, Commander Bennett stood at a memorial to those lost in the war. Admiral Martinez joined her, looking up at the stars. "Was it worth it?" she asked quietly. "We didn't start this war," he replied. "But we finished it, and now humanity has taken its place among the stars." Above them, the night sky was filled with lights, ships coming and going from Earth, carrying humans to new worlds and bringing visitors from across the galaxy. The first human war had changed everything. Humanity had proven itself, and the stars were now within reach.